And moving on to Asia, the Bank of Japan has opted to keep its short-term interest rates largest unchanged at 0.25% following the conclusion of its two-day monetary policy review. The bank suggested that improving conditions, particularly in the United States economy, may enable future rates increase. The central bank projected Japan's inflation will hover around its 2% target in the coming years, reinforcing its stance gradually tighten borrowing costs as long as the economy shows steady recovery. The BOJ lowered its core inflation forecasts for 2025 to 1.9%, but kept its 2026 outlook steady. Commenting on the decision, Bank of Japan Governor noted a reduction in economic risks tied to the U.S., adding that inflation could reach around 2% in the coming years, which would support further rate increases. The governor said the timing of the next rate hike remains data-dependent, with no preset plans. He emphasized that significant political or economic changes would prompt adjustments to BOJ policies. Analysts suggest the BOJ may implement a rate increase by early 2025, contingent on sustained economic growth and wage improvements.
国内のデータについては、先ほど申し上げた
In other news, Japanese government data has revealed that factory output in September rose 1.4% on a monthly basis, compared to a median market forecast for a 1% rise. Manufacturers surveyed by the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry expect seasonally adjusted output to jump 8.3% in October and 3.7% in November. Separate data showed Japanese retail sales in September rose 0.5% from a year earlier, well below the median market forecast for a 2.3% rise. In China, the Electricity Council reported that electricity consumption grew by 7.9% year-on-year in the first three quarters of 2024, reaching 7.4 trillion kilowatts per hour. This growth was 2.4 percentage points higher than the same period in 2023. August and September saw even higher rates of 8.9% and 8.5% respectively. Vice President of the CEC noted that the central government's macro control measures and new policies have stabilized the economy and supported electricity consumption. The manufacturing and services industries grew by 5.9% and 11.2%, contributing 48.9% and 25.9% to overall consumption growth. Hong Kong's economy expanded 1.8% year-on-year in the third quarter of 2024, though growth fell short of the 3.1% forecast by analysis. This follows a 3.2% growth rate in the second quarter and 2.8% in the first quarter of 2024. The government noted slower goods export growth and a dip in private consumption due to evolving spending habits. However, it anticipates continued growth supported by the global monetary easing and China's economic recovery efforts. On a quarterly basis, Hong Kong's economy contracted 1.1% in the third quarter, following a modest 0.3% growth in the second quarter.